What's up, YouTube world? It's your boy J Dub, the number one comment on YouTube, and I'm back with another review today. This evening, I will be reviewing Married at First Sight. This is season 16, episode 12, Getting to the Crust. And you know how they always get themey when they want to name the episodes. This should have been called Childhood Trauma or Lack of Vulnerability, but I don't name the episodes. But as I said in my intro, I am YouTube's number one commenter. On this channel, our channel, it's all about the comments. I need those comments. I need them coming in because that's what I do it for. And I love when y'all interact and just give your opinion. We learn, laugh, have fun, debate. It's just a great time. It's just a wonderful time. This is what it's all about for me. And as I say, on this channel, it's a freedom of speech, freedom of expression. Say what you say. That's the channel's model. So as long as we're not disrespecting each other, we're good. Because we are the Dub fam. So let me go ahead and get to this review because I show him I'm feeling like Lyndon from Ready to Love. My energy's getting low, so I need to go ahead and knock this video out and give you my best. So with Married at First Sight, it starts out with the happiest couple, and we all know who that is. That's Chris and Nicole. And Chris and Nicole, they're with Nicole's father, and they're participating in the weirdest form of exercise known to man, goat yoga. Now, don't get me wrong, I've never done goat yoga, but I'm certain that a goat kicking you, jumping on your back, peeing on you, pooping on you isn't relaxing. It's like downright distracting. How could you absolutely do your best with a goat all jumping around on you? And I'm guessing that MAFS put this together. MAFS, Married at First Sight put this trio together because I guess we're not focusing on their real issues. They're the perfect couple. So the only problem they have is that Nicole's father hasn't fully accepted Chris, and he really slights Chris. Every chance he gets, he says some type of disrespectful something to him. He forgets that Chris is his name. He doesn't respect him. And he treats Chris like a doormat, rightfully so. That's the nature of the beast. People normally take advantage of people where they can. It's like childhood behavior on the playgrounds. People going to get away with what they're going to let you get away with. So, uh, Chris, even though Nicole's father is abrasive, Chris still wants to know Nicole's background. And Nicole gives her father permission to go into it. And her father explained that him and Nicole really had a rift in their relationship due to the divorce. And Nicole was like rebelling against him. She was arguing with him, cursing him out. It wasn't comfortable when he had his visitations all the way up till she was 18 because I don't know, maybe he didn't have enough money from paying child support and alimony. I don't know. He had a one bedroom apartment and he made Nicole sleep on the couch all the time. And I'm thinking if this wasn't a temporary situation, perhaps he could have made her accommodations a little more comfortable. I don't know. Give her the bed, get her a fold out joint. I don't know. At the end of the a session, it really kind of shines light on why Nicole is the way she is. Even though she has a father, she has some form of daddy issues as well as trauma from the divorce. It kind of messed her up, so that's where the low self esteem and unsureness comes from. And the father in the end pretty much gave Chris his approval and said that he was going to wait to the 8 weeks to let him call him dad, but he can now call him dad because Chris has gained his respect and hopefully he has gained Chris respect. So he's not using the air quotes anymore. And thank you. I don't want to see no air quote because everything with Nicole's dad is an air quote. That's Nicole's husband and they're married and I'm his dad, all that kind of stuff. Hopefully we don't see no more of this air quotes dad anymore because it's not needed. If he hates Chris so much, just stay away, and just watch her dog, you know. So anyway, that was funny you brought it up. Not that I really care, but just the imbalance of the situation. Granted, relationships, marriage aren't equal. Somebody's going to have to give and take more at some point. But the fact of the matter is, I don't know what week we on, but have we seen a switch out where we bring Nicole's dogs in and maybe puts Chris's dog out somewhere? I don't know. Seems a little unfair, but life's unfair, I guess. Anyway, she just wants a husband. She'll do whatever it takes. Live apart, abandon her dogs, whatever it takes. So anyway, she's a really good wife. But we finally get to something that we really need on this show. We get the visits from Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper's doing house calls, and Shaq and Kirsten receives the first visit. And this visit is like so overdue. Even in Kirsten's confessional, she mentioned that like, hey, um, I could have used the Dr. Pepper, and when we were having our arguments the last episode, or just trying to navigate. And that's not the first time you heard that. Like people on and off the screen is saying like, where are the experts? Because the experts are a big part of this show. Granted, this is a unique situation. Even the sanest person may need a little help marrying a stranger and immediately moving in with them. So I just don't get it. Like the show was much better when they were more involved. You get more involved in the beginning, and then later on you let them kind of guide their way through and use their tools. But who am I? I just been watching it from the beginning. So at this point, I would say the experts, and I won't use air quotes because they are truly experts. The experts have done a tremendous job of finding damaged, hurt people that has severe childhood trauma at its best and just grouping them together and matching them. So, hey, it's not for rate. It's not for happy marriage. It's for drama and ratings, and that's what it is. And I'm not an expert, but I think I don't quote me, but I think that most of us want to see whole healed people come together and try to fight this arranged marriage situation and give it their best shot and like maybe come out happy in marriage. I don't know, but we know that that's not what Lifetime wants. But on this particular session, I think Dr. Pepper really earned her paycheck. She pretty much saying that I guess when you're listening to your partner or expecting something, you should have no expectations. It's just the fact of the matter. If you want to take a model, she went biblical on him saying, normally it says, do unto others how others undo to you or whatever. She's like, no, in a marriage and a relationship, what you need to have, your model needs to be do unto others as they would do for themselves. And like, boom, my head exploded just from that simple quote. But it's really breaking it down and relating to more so love languages. It's like, regardless of what you think, what somebody wants, or how they feel, you have to love them where they're most receptive at. Because, like I said, dealing with love languages, it's about how the person receives love and how they communicate and understand things and receive things. So it's really not about what you think or how you feel. You have to learn and understand your person and love them in the right way. So, it's not a romantic thing as people think love language. It's just like simply, how do I receive and feel love? What's the best way to get to my heart? So, we had to hear, in the session with Dr. Pepper, Shaq and Kirsten's awful childhood trauma, and how he had about um, Shaq's mom being a single mom and how much he missed out, and how Kirsten's parents got divorced early, and it was a very shameful and hurtful process. And yes, the background is important, but I kind of want to hear. I want to hear another tune because really we shouldn't be at this point if now I'm not an expert, but we should have people who have already went into the background of their childhoods in the healing process. And we should be on another step. This isn't for therapy. This is supposed to be for marriage, but that's what it feels like. And what I can see, Kirsten is like Kirsten, her name is Kirsten. She's starting to come around with Shaq. And to me, my opinion, Shaq has one foot out the door. And let me say this, like how when Dr. Pepper was giving Shaq advice, there was a huge reason why Dr. Pepper emphasized, like the Shaquille, that he has to give Kirsten um, his masculine, desirous self. She didn't just say that for nothing. So I need y'all to listen and understand and know why she said that. I won't go too deep in that, but yeah, she said it for a reason. And at this point, she's telling Shaq that, like, I believe, like, you're still holding on to, like, prior rejection dealing with Kirsten. Like, we got to move on from that. We can't stay stuck there. The girl is ready, so what you gonna do? You claim that's who you want, but so what's up? So let's go ahead and get on to the next couple. Let's get on to Clint and Gina. And Clint agrees that, like, him and Gina kind of take the salesperson approach when, like, opening up and talking about themselves, but they're, like, really on two different pages. Clint feels like if he shares a story, that Gina should automatically share a story. And Gina feels like, hey, well, you should ask me some, I guess, opening up questions so I can talk about myself. And, it's just a mess. And it's just the way that people communicate with each other. And this is, like, definitely a reason why an expert is needed to kind of sort all that out. They seem like two stubborn people who are, like, stuck in their ways. That's what happened when you're in your 40s and 50s. You kind of get stuck in your ways. And, it started to make me question, is Clint really putting forth the effort that I thought he was? Because I was, like, praising Clint. Like, he is really going above and beyond. But, it kind of sounds like he's more so stuck in his ways. And, you know, I just think they have a different perception of what's going on. I believe Clint thinks that they're really progressing. I think Gina is being cordial and being friendly, and Clint believes that they can build on that. But I'm not so sure anymore. Because in this session, Gina, she seemed like very irritated and fed up. But Dr. Pepper just says, like, hey, y'all got, like, different styles, and y'all got to learn how to kind of navigate between that, knowing that y'all don't have the same exact styles. And we really see and learn that uh, Clint kind of brought that brutally honest tactic or whatever, because, like, he went too far. He wasn't being sensitive enough of Gina's feelings of But again, my opinion, Gina called him ugly first, so it was just a mess. But that I don't get with that brutally honest. You can be honest without hurting someone's feeling or being mindful of what you say, because you absolutely should in every situation. Unless you're intending to, unless you're trying to harm them. So they just need to change their approach. So maybe they're not as that Clint is not doing as well as I thought. So let's talk about Airris and Jasmine, and they get their visit from Dr. Pepper. And when I tell you this one is full of childhood trauma, I mean, I couldn't take no more. You know, Jasmine spoke of that, like, when she moved as a child, how that kind of threw off her rhythm, where, like, she was displaced and taken away from her friends, and then as she grew up, she moved back, and things weren't the same. And I could totally relate to that as a child. Like, I grew up in more so DC, and by the time I got to high school, I was moved to Maryland, and then now my DC friends forgot about me. My Maryland friends aren't really my friends, and I go back to DC, and they're gone. They forgot about me, and, like, you're nowhere. And it's like, oh wow, I don't really have any friends. But in real life, it's not really good to have a lot of friends, because you can't trust a lot of people. But let me get off of that. So Dark Cloud Airris, he's experienced a great deal of death in his young age. And, like, to me, he's still stuck in that adolescent place. Because of his losses and not having a father present, he's, like, emotionally still a little kid. And bottom line, it can't work. He has not done any work to fix that, to progress, to grow. None of that. he's still a little kid playing with his Jordans, and yeah, he's there. So on top of that, but just let's not forget the fact that bottom line, Airris is not attracted to Jasmine at all. I mean, there's nothing that she could do to change that. And I get why Jasmine is concerned. Like, I'm supposed to open up to this man, and I don't even know if he cares about whether I live or die. Like, why would I tell him about my life when he doesn't care? Because in real life, when he hears something about Jasmine, he criticize it, or put it down, or it's just something unpleasant. It doesn't make a person like want to open up and share. But what I enjoyed and also hated the advice that Dr. Pepper gave to Jasmine. I like that she told Jasmine that it's really not about you, because like Eris is chipping away at her self-esteem by rejecting her, treating her bad, acting funny towards her, and telling everybody in the world like, "Hey, I don't like this lady because the bottom row of her teeth, and she don't have body like Kirsten." You know, that could get to anybody. But what I really hated about what Dr. Pepper told Jasmine was like, well, after all this trauma you hear from Dark Cloud areas, you really have your work cut out for you. Like, no, she don't have no work cut out for her. Listen, Dr. Pepper couldn't even heal Eris at this point. So what? Two people who don't know how to communicate. Because Jasmine said, like, hey, I've never seen my parents argue. So I'm like in this fantasy world, like people don't argue. So she's afraid of conflict. Soon as things get hot, she can't even deal with it. And she's supposed to cure and unwrap and unpackage all of Eris's childhood trauma and baggage. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. That's quite a task and is actually impossible. Um, but you know, what really surprised me, I kind of was surprised and I wasn't. I'm gonna say I was kind of surprised when Eris and Jasmine did the homework where they're supposed to kind of open up with questions, and like every question, Jasmine would either defer to Eris or she just say she couldn't think of anything. She like turned into Kirsten overnight or whatever. She don't know what to say or what to address. I don't know if Jasmine is shutting down or she's already checked out, or she's really just not that great of a communicator where I don't know what you have to do. Maybe it takes years for her to talk. I don't know, but it's exhausting. And I have to say, a scene I didn't really need to see. Jasmine mother talking with Eris or whatever, and I noticed that he actually gave Jasmine's mother eye contact, because normally he'll never look at Jasmine. He'll look on the floor or look in the other direction. It's something there. I think he despises her. I think he despises Jasmine, and he can't wait to get out. Um, so I don't know. We're gonna see. So we do see a bright spot in Shaq and Kirsten's relationship. They're sitting down about to eat their cold food, and neither of these super spiritual people said grace before they ate. But who's watching? Nobody but me. And I, it just got weirder and weirder. I did see Kirsten take her finger and push her salmon off of her fork, and I'm like, what kind of weird stuff is this going on? They just like kind of weird people. But we learned that Kirsten is actually a successful realtor, and she had a great year. And she actually asked Shaq to make a logo for her realtor business. And I mean, immediately, even when Shaq was eating his cold turkey burger, he went right to work and was making up some themes and some logos and explaining it. And you really saw his creative side. And Kirsten was turned on by that. She even asked, like, "Hey, I need a website at this point. I'm getting crazy business. Can you do that?" He's like, "Sure, I can do that." And she like, "Oh, I need to invoice you." He like, "You think I'm gonna charge you? Charge my boo?" She was like, "Oh, that was sexy." The man about his business can just jump right in there and get something going. So, like, that was really a positive for them. And at this point, Shaq, I'm about to say, Shaq is on his way, but he always to me does something to mess it up. Kirsten was still turned on, but I thought he really lost it when he started doing his little sassy dance when their food came out. But I don't think Kirsten really paid it too much attention. But let's go back to Nicole and Chris. Now Nicole and Chris, they get their house call with Dr. Pepper, and of course, if anybody got to talk about traumas, it's them two. Like every chance they get, it's one or the other or both. They got to talk about how bad somebody treated them. They burned them. They ran them over with a car. They stole all that money. All that kind of stuff. It's too much. And Nicole even admitted, like, I guess from what, a teenager up until now, she's been in like abusive relationships for 15 years. And she's like gotten so used to that like if a nice guy comes along, she doesn't want to be bothered because she doesn't feel worthy and she's not used to being treated well. And we learn, of course, has always been in an emotionally abusive relationship and he never felt worthy. And you know, like these people aren't even ready to love, let alone get married at first sight. It's like ridiculous. Like if I haven't seen a set of such unhealed and raw emotion people, I don't know what's going on. Like they need like just to be on a therapy show. Like do not pass go, go straight to therapy. Don't talk about marriage, being together, no children. Don't talk about the future. It's a day-to-day therapy session with them, together and apart. And it's like there's no way that these two could really be happy. It's a facade. They're two severely broken people. It just can't work. Like, and if it does, it's going to be so unhealthy. Like, it's going to be sickening. But like I said early in this in in the season, like it's just they're going to have something toxic. It's not going to be something that you're going to want to hold on to. And so let's just close wrap this thing up. Let's get to the grand finale because this is something we've all been waiting for. I didn't ever think it was going to happen. You know, Shaq actually took heed what Dr. Pepper said. Now he's taking the lead. He's got the Married at First Sight body paint kit because I don't believe he thought of that. That's just my opinion. And I gotta say, you know, and this supposed to be romantic, sexy, take the lead. I think Shaq did the best he could. It's like you see when your kid might not be that great in sports, but you can see that they doing the best they could. And that's what I got from Shaq. He did the best he could. And, you know, when Shaq was putting the body paint on Kirsten, it looked like he was a straight A arts and crafts student because he was just totally focused on painting and creating a masterpiece on Kirsten's body, but he wasn't like focusing on Kirsten because it's supposed to be like some type of sensual massage painting kind of situation. And, but Shaq really, what they say, they got a saying, swung for the fences, a baseball term. Um, he took charge. Kirsten wanted to know what direction he was going in with the paint. He's like, well, you just got to wait and see. Stood up on the table, shoved some whipped cream in her mouth, and put a strawberry in his and stole a kiss. And she was down with it. She didn't hesitate. She didn't say, it's about my past. I don't like kissing. I'm nervous. I'm not a good talker. She went in. She was ready. She was down. I ain't even see her drink nothing. So she was down. And I'm like, yeah, Shaq. I mean, like, finally, Kirsten is ready. Like, way to take over Shaq. So I gotta say he did his thing. He made it happen. It looked a little cringy, but I guess that was their first kiss. It looked a little off, but he went in there. He took the effort, and that's what Kirsten was waiting for. Because to me, she was giving the signs up before. She do a little hands and the little gestures, like she's with it. It's like she wasn't giving up no energy. She was with it. So again, Dr. Pepper earned a paycheck and it went as it should. And how long is it going to last? I don't know. That just might be a fun night. So we'll see. So drop down in the comments. Tell me what your thoughts, something I missed, something you want to add. And I think I'm done for tonight. I want to give you my best. So we're going to pick up. What we're going to pick up with? Put a ring on it. We're gonna pick up with what about? We're gonna pick up, put a ring on it. Love and Marriage DC, and I think that's all I owe y'all for right now. So drop down in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. And as I always tell y'all could be anywhere in this YouTube world, but you're here with me. I really appreciate it, and I really mean it.